Capricorn, you're not starting over. You're returning to what matters most. This message didn't find you by accident. If you're a Capricorn, or if this sign's steady heartbeat echoes in your soul, this is your map for the week ahead, not a prediction, but a permission to feel what you've avoided, to release what you've carried too long, and to remember. Healing doesn't mean changing who you are. It means returning to who you've always been. Subscribe and turn on the bell if you want to hear messages that aren't just from tarot, but from your own soul, whispered back to you through these sacred mirrors. The first card, 8 of Cups, reversed, speaks to the core energy of your week, Capricorn. You are known for moving forward, for climbing, building, striving. But this card reversed suggests a moment of pause, hesitation, perhaps even backtracking. There's something in your life, maybe a relationship, a commitment, a dream, that you've tried to walk away from, and yet a part of you lingers. Not because you're weak, but because you're still searching for closure. Or maybe, deep down, a part of you isn't fully ready to say goodbye. The reversed 8 of Cups is not failure. It's a reckoning. It's your soul saying, before we leave, let's be honest. Are we done here, or are we just afraid to stay? You might find yourself replaying old decisions, second-guessing your exit strategy, or wondering if you've truly outgrown what you thought you did. This is not about judgment. It's about discernment. Let yourself ask the uncomfortable questions. Am I walking away to honor myself or to avoid something hard? Is there still something meaningful here, or am I clinging out of fear? This week, it's okay to look back, but only if it helps you move forward with clarity, not confusion. And maybe this pause is sacred. Maybe you're not lost. You're just revisiting a chapter to gather the final lesson before the page can truly turn. Let your reflection be the bridge between release and renewal. Pause for reflection. Picture yourself standing at the threshold of a familiar path. One foot still anchored in memory, the other trembling toward the unknown. What emotion surfaces first? Grief, relief, hope? Write it down. Sit with it. Let that emotion guide the truth of your next step. The second card, 10 of Wands, reversed, reveals your deepest emotional or spiritual challenge this week, Capricorn. You are the mountain climber of the Zodiac. You carry burdens that others don't even notice, and often you wear your strength like armor. Silent, resilient, unshaken. But the 10 of Wands reverse comes with a tender truth. You're carrying too much, and some of it was never yours to hold. This card doesn't question your strength. It questions the weight. Are you still carrying responsibilities out of guilt, not love? Are you holding on to roles and expectations because you believe no one else will? You've likely convinced yourself that your endurance is what makes you valuable, but this week your soul is whispering, just because you can carry it doesn't mean you should. This challenge is emotional, not logistical. You might be doing too much for others, leaving too little for your own healing. You may feel burned out, but afraid to stop, as if resting means you're failing. But rest is not weakness, it's wisdom. This week asks you to release, not everything, but something. What load are you carrying that no longer aligns with your growth? What task, person, pattern, or promise are you holding on to, even when it's draining your spirit? Capricorn, you don't have to prove anything. You don't have to earn your right to breathe. This week's spiritual challenge is not about doing more. It's about finally letting go, so you can reclaim your strength not from pressure, but from peace. You may even find that as you let go, what you feared would fall apart actually finds its own way, or was never truly your burden to begin with. And in that space, something softer, more soul-aligned can take root. Pause for reflection. Write down 3 things you're currently carrying that feel heavy. Circle the one that isn't truly yours. Ask yourself, what would happen if I laid this down for just one day? Let your body, not your mind, answer. The third card, 7 of Pentacles, reversed, offers the internal call to action rising from within you, Capricorn. You're no stranger to endurance. You know what it means to plant long-term seeds, to pour into something with steady hands. But the 7 of Pentacles reversed whispers, maybe it's time to question what you're tending. Have your roots outgrown the soil? Has your care turned into obligation? This week, you're invited to step back and survey the landscape of your efforts. What was once filled with promise may now feel like a harvest that never comes. Not because you haven't tried, but because some things were never meant to bloom the way you imagined. Sometimes the bravest act of devotion is not to keep going, but to pivot with grace. Pause for reflection. Make a list of what you've been investing your energy into. Circle the one that makes you sigh, not smile. That may be where your truth is asking to be heard. The fourth card, Knight of Pentacles, brings clarity, light, and the reward. Waiting on the other side of surrender, Capricorn. This card is your mirror. Steady, intentional, devoted. Among all the chaos, self-doubt, and internal re-evaluation, the Knight of Pentacles steps in like a gentle, grounding hand on your shoulder, reminding you are still on the right path. Even if it looks different than you expected, even if it's slower than you hoped, this Knight doesn't rush. He doesn't need to be flashy. He doesn't pivot based on emotion. He knows that the seeds worth planting are the ones you tend consistently to water, not the ones you abandon when they don't bloom fast enough. The light this card brings is not explosive. It's enduring. It says, your healing doesn't need to be dramatic. It just needs to be real. This week, your clarity will come not through intensity, but through consistency. Not through breakthroughs, but through tiny, honest actions. Showing up for your body even when your mind is racing. Returning to your practice, even if yesterday you felt lost. Being faithful to your path, even if no one claps for it yet. This Knight is the reward for all the internal work you've been doing. The reminder that slow is not stagnant and that you don't have to burn out to evolve. You can build gently. You can move forward with intention and still arrive in full power. Let this card be your anchor. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are becoming, brick by brick, breath by breath. Pause for reflection. Where in your life are you craving applause instead of presence? What if the most meaningful progress was the one no one sees but you? The fifth card, Eight of Pentacles, reversed, speaks to the journey ahead and the quiet wisdom the universe is asking you to carry forward. Capricorn, you've worked hard. That's not a compliment, it's a truth, woven into your very nature. But this card, reversed, arrives to ask you something that might unsettle your identity. Have you been so focused on getting it right that you've forgotten why you started? The Eight of Pentacles reversed points to perfectionism, burnout, and a disconnection between effort and intention. You may be busy, but are you fulfilled? You may be productive, but are you present? This is your invitation to reconnect with your why, to stop obsessing over the outcome and start rediscovering the joy in the process. Because if the work no longer nourishes you, no amount of perfection will satisfy. You're not being asked to quit. You're being asked to redevote yourself, not just to your craft, but to your care. To stop defining yourself solely by your output. To remember that mastery is not about pressure, it's about presence. The journey ahead for you is not about doing more, it's about doing differently. From a place of balance, connection, and soul-honoring clarity, your soul is asking for integration, not performance. Let the next steps be quiet, real, and deeply rooted in who you truly are. Pause for reflection. Ask yourself, what am I mastering? Perfection or peace? Let your answer shape how you move through the week. Capricorn, this week isn't about breakthroughs. It's about returns to your truth, your center, your softness. It's about releasing what no longer nourishes, questioning what no longer fits, and grounding yourself in what actually matters to your soul. You are not starting over. You're realigning, and that's not a setback. It's sacred, but maybe a part of you still hesitates, still wonders, am I ready to let go, ready to soften, ready to change? This message is also for that part of you, the part that wants to heal but is still tired, the part that knows it's time, but doesn't know where to begin, and that's okay. You don't have to leap. You don't even have to move. You only need to breathe, and in that breath, let your soul whisper back. Not yet is still sacred. Whether you're walking, pausing, or simply learning to sit with the truth, you are still on your path. If this message stirred something in you, leave a comment, not for likes, but as a quiet vow to yourself. I am choosing alignment over expectation. I am returning to myself, with love and steadiness always.